What is going on, you and the tube? It's your boy Trucker Will, and we're trucking it like always. Trying to make this money, trying to make this dough. So, in today's video, for the first time ever in my trucking career, my heart was in my throat. We're gonna talk about it next. Trucking or Trucker Will. What is going on, you and the tube? This your boy Trucker Will. We're trucking it like always, trying to make this money, trying to make this dough. Like always, we're backed up to a door, getting unloaded so we can get down the road to get to our next load so we can get paid. Before we get into it, remember to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell below so you know when I come out with new videos. And like I stated in the beginning, in this video, I'm talking about, for the first time in my trucking career, my heart was in my throat. I'll show a video of what actually happened. But yeah, heart in throat. Bruh, I thought Old Purple was going to be laying on her side. Like, I thought it was done, over with. Like, bruh, like, oh my gosh. Like, then, so, story time. Tell you what happened, right? So we are coming off this load. We dropped in Wyoming, and we were running like we was trying to get through Wyoming, because behind us there was a storm that was coming that was gonna have 60-mile-an-hour winds that were gonna be coming across 80. So we're busting ass, and I busted getting down there, get to 80, get to the drop, get there on time. They get us unloaded. We go to the truck stop. Any of y'all know, truck drivers know, you coming out here, you know, on 25 there's a Love and there's a Pilot right there on I-25 going towards Denver, Colorado. So we get done, we get unloaded, we head over there, we shut down for the night, and get our next load. So we wake up, got our next load. We're supposed to go deadhead to not Fort Collins, like near Gaffney, Denver, or Denver, Gaffney, Colorado, or something like that. It's a meat load. So we're in the meat district. We go get this meat load. So we go over there, right? So, obviously we got to get the trailer washed out. Can't get the trailer washed out because it is, blue beacons were closed. I believe it was Easter. All blue beacons were closed on this day. So luckily the load that we had, that we brought up to Wyoming, was berries. So there was no blood or anything like that. It had just been washed out. We loaded it with berries. There was nothing in it. Didn't smell. Just topped off the reefer to get down the road. So this is where it gets interesting, guys. So the 60-mile-an-hour winds, you see it's windy. You're not thinking 60 mile an hour. It's just little winds. You're like, all right, you're a truck driver. You've been through this hundreds of times. So we get, my students turn to drive, so we go get the fuel, and I should have realized when student told me that another driver came up to him and said that there was another prime truck that had got turned over. And I'm like, turned over where? We hear stories all the time, somebody could have been messing with him, whatever. So I was like, all right, so it's just windy. I'm not thinking it's 60-mile-an-hour winds. So we fill up the reefer because we got to get to the load, because we don't want to have a service failure. So we get up, got on 25, right? So I'm in the sleeper, and where students driving, and he noticed it's a little windy. So we're like, whatever, cool. So we're still rocking it. So we got the CB on, and you hear like this enormous chatter start coming on. Like, we ain't even been on the road 10 minutes. You start hearing all this chatter. And you're driving, And then I look up. Now there's no exits. I look up and there's a sign that says 60-mile-an-hour winds. Highway closed to all high-profile lightweight vehicles. But there's trucks flying up and down the road. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're talking about, lightweights. In my head, I'm like, even though we're empty, as soon as I see that sign, I'm like, okay. So we're rolling. And I'm like, all right, I tell him, hey, next exit, we'll just pull off. We'll sit there, wait till it dies down. I shit you not, y'all. I shit you not. I see the sign. I'm looking for the exit to get off the highway because I didn't know it was 60-mile-an-hour winds. I shit you not. We're rolling. You see the sign. Getting ready to get off the highway. And in the video, you hear me come from the sleeper, hop in the passenger seat, put my seatbelt on. The student's coming over a bridge, a little bridge. And in the video, all you see is the dash cam. You see the truck do this. And I was like, oh shit, no, oh hell no, oh god no. And you hear it, doo-doo. We pull off to the side. Right directly in front of us, there is a Crete truck on its side into the guardrail. And we pull off. There's a tow truck, there's a state patrol. And we just parked because we're sitting there getting pushed around. I mean, it got bad. Getting put on, and it was like I guess it was like a clearing where all the wind there was no building stopping anything or nothing. So it was just straight force. So we're sitting there, you see our trailer doing this, and we're like, yo. So you go see the officer. The officer comes over and says, hey, it gets really bad up there. There's another prime truck that's over there on his side. That driver didn't do all well. It was the person in the sleeper. He didn't do all that well. He said, go up to that little break in the highway, turn around and go back to Cheyenne. And I'm like, man, my student's like, no, I don't. Well, you see this wind? He's like, well, unfortunately, the DOT officer, we need you to get off the road. And I'm like, all right. So I say, all right, man, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. We'll get back to safety, right? So I come in, I turn around and head back, and we get pulled into the port of entry. So surprisingly, we get pulled in. We get the bypass, and then we get pulled in the port of entry over there. They want to see our DOT card and all of this stuff. So we show them everything. We show them all the stuff for the truck, and we sit there for like 45 minutes. Then we look up and we see the exit to Cheyenne to go back to the pilot. So we boogie back over there very carefully, to sit there until the next morning to go get that load. It was later that night or early. It was later that night or early in the morning. We went over there, picked that load up, and got the heck out of there. But man, that's the first time in my trucking career that my throat was in my chest. My heart was in my throat. I thought it was over for you, boy. Over. Man, I don't know. It definitely puts your mind in a different place when you almost see your life flash before your eyes. Because I was in the passenger seat, and I literally thought that the truck was just gonna lay on its side, and it was gonna be done. But all praises to the Most High. Slammed that truck back down on all the wheels. Got us safety, got us to another load, to get down the road, to get to another load, to get paid, but definitely one of the scariest moments in my trucking career at 5 years. The first one was I was coming down 80, and Peterbilt, long-nosed Pete, slid off the freeway and it slid right in front of us. I got pictures of that on my Instagram years ago. That was before I was at Prime. But yeah, guys, oh man. This weather is bipolar. Mother Nature's got some bipolarism going on because she's all types of pissed off and angry, blowing winds and stuff like that. So do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell below so you know when I come out with new videos. And like always, I'll see you in the blacktop. Safe trucking. This trailer looks like, yeah. fast. You gotta slow down. Please just remember, right now, get off the corner because I want you to focus on there. Stop! No! No! Oh God, no! Yes. Get your, bro, this wind is. I'm going below the speed limit.